Hi everyone! Now I'm going to show you inside a whole bunch of the Usborne combined volumes. The cool thing about these is that they take a whole bunch of titles, bind them into one binding, and by doing that they save money and they save us money. And we get to have these really awesome and very beautiful books. I really like big books, so I have lots of the combined volumes. And they're fun because your child can love one book but still get a whole bunch of different stories from it, so that's really cool. This is the big book of little stories. I'll show you the amount of stories that are in there. There's some classics in here. There's Wind in the Willows, all very short versions. You can see that there's just a small amount of text and lots of vibrant, fun, colorful pictures. So this is perfect reading for your little ones who are just getting past board books and starting to sit through storybooks. This is the perfect amount. And this is just a lot of fun. Pinocchio, good stuff. This is the Aesop Stories for Little Children. As you're going through the online bookstore, you'll start to notice that some of them are labeled for little children, some of them are labeled for children. And that's kind of a clue on the reading level. And so as you go through, you can check out the specifications and they'll actually tell you what reading level that the stories are rated for, which is really helpful in your shopping. So here's the stories for Aesop's Fables, and you can see that it's still just a small amount of text. Really fun pictures, and I love that the Aesop's Fables always have the moral of the story at the end. So those are a lot of fun. And these are really great to give as gifts because they're just beautifully bound and timeless reading. This is Ted and Friends. This is one of the Usborne Phonics Readers collections. I'm going to start you off at the back here so you can see that there's all this information at the back about learning phonics. And so as a parent or as a homeschooler, there's lots of information here to help you help your child learn how to read, which is a really cool resource to have. So these stories, there's that many. Comes with a CD that is in our car, and we keep it there for listening while we drive. There's more information about phonics for the parents. And so these stories, they all have the same little characters, Fat Cat, Big Pig, and you'll hear the phonics as you read through. And then there's these fun little flaps. And the stories, they don't have huge amount of plot line. They're mostly just for the reading experience and being able to listen to the phonics. And they all have a little, laughable ending, which is silly and fun and just a lot of fun to read. So this is a great collection. Another top seller is the Complete Book of Farmyard Tales. Mine is very beat up because I found it at a yard sale for $3 before I ever knew about Usborne Books and More. And I was actually already trying to tell people about it. You have to hear about this awesome book that I found. And I'll tell you why on a page that's not falling apart. This is a very loved book. It's obviously had a life before ours. So the cool thing is that it has this one line of text at the top and then a longer text at the bottom. You can read this one or this one and get the full story. So one is, a smaller reading level, maybe first grade, and the second one is maybe a second grade reading level. And you can mix it up. You can read it with your child. They can have the stories grow with them. And every story starts out exactly the same, and so they'll start to memorize and then they go on to expand their reading abilities. So this is really cool because it does grow with your child and helps them to reach their goals. This is the illustrated fairy tales. This one's really pretty. You can see how beautiful it is. Very girly and fun. There's the table of contents. It has stories from Brothers Grimm, Hans Christian Andersen, and a few that I haven't heard before. So you can see the amount of the text in there compared to the pictures. And they're really beautiful. My daughter loves the dragon painter. I love the illustrations for Beauty and the Beast. Can I just show you how beautiful those are? So these are really fun. My 3-year-old is into these. Has the little ribbon for the bookmark that makes it feel fancy. And then this is the illustrated stories for Aesop. So this is a higher reading level than the young one that I just showed you. So here's the table of contents, and it's actually broken down: pride, trickery, greed, and so it's broken down by the moral of the story. So you can use this for your parenting troubles if you need to. Use the index or the table of contents. So you can see there's a bit more text in these, and the illustrations are fewer and far in between, but the text is still quite large. And so this is one of the younger of the older reading levels. So this one's a really cool one. And then we'll go up a little bit in the reading level. This is the Arabian Nights. I think this one is really gorgeous. You can see how pretty it is. And there's the stories there. And then it starts at the beginning, and all the stories link into each other, so they read one after another. And then here you'll see that the text is starting to get smaller than the Aesop stories. And so there's more and more text, less pictures in between, the higher you go up in the reading levels. And then this one does have these full page, beautiful illustrations within the stories. Then we'll take a jump up to the illustrated stories from Shakespeare. These ones are really cool. I love this. It actually tells you, when you see lines written like this, it means that they are Shakespeare's original words. And this is really cool because, you know, everybody has to read Shakespeare at some point in middle school or high school, and they always get intimidated because it's wordy and it's different than the way we speak. But if they've read this when they're younger, they're not going to be as nervous when they start reading Shakespeare. So here's the contents, and you can see all the little pictures. It makes it fun. And then at the beginning of the story, it has a little blurb. Then it has the title. And then it has a list of the characters with the pictures, so your child can start to get that worked in their mind before they start reading. And there's the contents, and then you dive into the story. And so you can see how much text there is compared to the pictures. So it's pretty medium reading level. And I've had somebody recently ask me, well, for children's books, how did they handle some of the heaviness of, you know, the tragedies? And they don't hide a lot. And I'll tell you, like the pictures, there is blood, there is violence, but that's part of Shakespeare. And so you as a parent get to decide when you want to introduce these things to your children. And I'm here to tell you that there is blood and swords and violence in this book. But if, you know, you love Shakespeare, then you can decide when you want to introduce this to your child. So it is real, and it is, you know, we don't oversimplify it for the kids because they're smart and clever, and they'll figure out what to do with it. We get to figure out when to introduce them to it. Then the last book I'm going to show you is the Usborne, one of the Usborne illustrated originals. This is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and it's really pretty. The illustrated originals are complete and unabridged, so it's the original text. And see, there's the table of contents, so you can see there's the cute illustrations. So you can see, look, there's Toto. That's cute. So you can see that the text is much smaller, more like a novel. But then there's these cool illustrations spread out in between. And every now and then you'll find a full page illustration, which is really, really fun and keeps the story fun and interesting. So, see, there's those. And then it has the little ribbon bookmark, which makes it really fun. And so these are so cool to give as gifts. It's kind of padded, and it's just, you can just see the quality. So anyways, that's a look. I kind of started at the youngest age and went up to the most advanced, and so I hope that helps you guys in your shopping to find out what's going to be right for your child. Thanks for watching.